A internet surgiu em nossas vidas em meados dos anos 90. Hoje, nem sabemos mais como conseguimos viver sem ela.
I don't think I've ever seen a company, not Apple, not eBay, not Cisco, that grew as fast as Google just skyrocketed.
Aprendemos a surfar, clicar, usar a web e o e-mail. A internet cresceu e se espalhou. E nasceu a necessidade de encontrar informações precisas como uma agulha em um palheiro. E então o Google foi lançado. Em poucos meses, a ferramenta de busca revolucionou a internet. A resposta para todas as nossas perguntas surgia na tela com grande velocidade e precisão.
I was out there in the early days when there were maybe 30 people sitting in offices, bringing their dogs, sleeping on the floor at night. Went back 6 months later, and now there's a couple hundred, and they've filled up the entire building they were in. Went out again a few months later, and they were in multiple buildings. And now you go out there, and there's this giant corporate headquarters, and building after building, and they're this worldwide titan with thousands of employees.
A Google construiu sua matriz, a Googleplex, no coração do Vale do Silício.
To go from nothing, basically, two guys with an idea, sitting at Stanford, to a company with a market value $30–40 billion 5 years later. That's pretty impressive creation of wealth.
Com 1 bilhão de usuários em todo o mundo diariamente, a Google é tão fascinante quanto polêmica. Mas ela não seria poderosa e secreta em excesso? Não saberia muito sobre nossos dados pessoais? Seria confiável? Se não for controlada, acabará por nos controlar? E por que vemos essas luminárias estranhas por toda parte?
It's a particular object that many Google have on the desk, and if you wait a while, it blows up and it's like a volcano.
A Google abriu suas portas para nos mostrar seu mundo. Para nos lembrarmos de todos os detalhes, criamos um blog. Fábrica de Ideias. O que mais impressiona quando se entra em um escritório da Google é a idade dos empregados. Ter menos de 30 anos parece ser a regra.
Many people do associate it with Google because it was one of the first decorating items that was brought in the first official offices in Mountain View. And after that, it just stick to Google. I think it's cool.
Nas escrivaninhas e nas telas, de Dublin a São Francisco, a decoração é a mesma. Todos aderem à moda Google, mostrando que pertencem à família. Um novo tipo de clube global.
But the problem is, it's getting too hot, and for me, it's like a waste of energy. It looks nice, but so I don't use it.
A Google logo deixou seu ninho no Vale do Silício para espalhar escritórios pelo mundo, levando suas luminárias, mesas de totó e bolas de pilates. Também exportou uma maneira idealista e diferente de organizar o espaço de trabalho. As raízes da organização ditam sua missão.
Google is the world's leading search engine, and our mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. I'm Marissa Meyer, and I'm Vice President of Search Products and User Experience. A lot of companies sort of suffer the misfortune that they have to rewrite their mission statements later to make them match what the company's doing. And this is actually the initial mission statement as written by Larry and Sergey of September 1998.
Os fundadores só conhecem duas coisas, a universidade e a Google.
When I met Larry and Sergey, I was at Stanford and I knew what computer science PhDs were like, and they rollerblade, they eat pizza for breakfast, they don't shower, and they don't have the manners for that when they bump into you, they would even say they're sorry. And Larry and Sergey had gone from being those kinds of people to being pretty polished businessmen that were able to express a vision for what they wanted to achieve in the world and what they wanted Google to achieve that I thought was really powerful and compelling.
Não seja mal. Organize a informação global e torne-a acessível a todos. Larry Page e Sergey Brin temperaram sua ascensão ao poder com ideias incrivelmente ousadas e ingênuas. Eles envelheceram e ficaram ricos, mas o espírito universitário permanece.
Here you can see around the world how people are using Google, and every one of those rising dots represents probably about 20, 30 searches or something like that. So you can see here we are in the US, and they're all coming up red. There we are in Monterey, hopefully I can get it right. You can see that Japan is busy at night, right there. We have Tokyo coming in Japanese. There's a lot of activity in China. There's a lot of activity in India. There's some in the Middle East, little pockets. And Europe, which is right now in the middle of the day, is going really strong with a whole wide variety of languages.
They're not very pragmatic guys, but they don't have to be. They've got a whole big corporation behind them with a lot of really smart guys that are pragmatic. And they can be the idealists. They can talk about, the grand and glorious plans of putting all the world's knowledge on the web to make it available to everybody. It's nice to have them.
Part of what we want to do to grow our company is to have more searches. And what that means is we want to have more people who are healthy and educated, more animals if they start doing searches as well. But partly we want to make the world a better place.
Google has done as good a job of maintaining the pre-IPO environment as any company I've seen. And one of the reasons was Eric Schmidt, the CEO. He's very conscious of what happens when a company like this gets older and when there's a lot of money flying around.
In order to win in the internet, you have to have a scaling strategy. You have to be able to be global. You have to have a product that works across many different sources of interest and information, and you have to execute very quickly. And scaling for Google means more data centers, more fiber optic networks, more cash flow, more people, more training, more product announcements, and things like that.
The genius of Eric Schmidt at Google was he caught on very early that he was not about search. He thought for a while that he was about information and the organization of information. That's still the standard Google line. True, but they've evolved much beyond that. Because what they realized at a certain point was this revenue model they had was brilliant and fundamentally new, which was you provide the service for free and you monetize the whole B2B exchange going on behind it. And it's done in tiny, tiny amounts that add up, multiplied by billions. It's a brilliant model because to the user, your loyalty comes from the fact that they're giving you this wonderful experience for nothing.
O lema da Google é não seja mal. Toda a receita da empresa é gerada por resultados comprados que aparecem à direita dos resultados naturais. Segundo uma pesquisa, somente 40% dos usuários diferenciam resultados comprados e naturais. Anunciar no Google é eficaz, mesmo não sendo evidente. Isso é mal? O fato é que compensa. 10 bilhões de dólares em vendas, 3 bilhões e meio em lucros e um valor de mercado de 165 bilhões de dólares. Sophie, de 27 anos, é instrutora da Google França. Ela treina anunciantes que queiram comprar palavras. Vamos conhecer Yann, um anunciante que compra essas palavras. Todas as palavras do idioma francês estão à venda. E o mesmo vale para o inglês, espanhol, chinês, italiano, russo, sueco, árabe.
Donc, je vais les former sur qu'est-ce qui est AdWords et comment ça fonctionne, quoi. Déjà, ce sera pas mal. Et puis, sur l'interface, savoir se débrouiller, être un petit peu autonome.
Quand j'ai démarré, en tout cas, moi, j'y croyais pas tellement. Enfin, j'avais pas cette vision-là à l'époque, c'était en 2003, c'était au tout début, le bureau de Paris venait de se créer, et on n'avait pas cette vision-là, on se dit ouais, ça a l'air sympa, j'étais comme aujourd'hui, les annonceurs qu'on essaie d'évangéliser. Sympa, bon, ça doit être un peu chiant comme métier quand même, d'écrire 95 lignes de texte, 95 caractères. Et c'est vrai que quand on a mis le pied dedans, et si par chance on s'est mis sur un secteur qui fonctionne mieux que les autres, c'est là on prend une claque. Là c'est vraiment, ça marche. Et ça marche très très bien et ça explique l'explosion qu'il y a eu derrière. En fait, on s'est retrouvé à proposer un modèle de publicité qui fonctionne. Quand quelqu'un cherche sur Google une information, si demain je vais chercher un billet d'avion sur Google ou un bijou, enfin si je vais taper billet d'avion dans Google, en général, c'est que je cherche une information, enfin dans plus de la moitié des cas commerciale. Et donc du coup, c'est excellent de faire de la publicité quand c'est pertinent et quand on a une réponse à un besoin. Pour un publicitaire, je crois qu'il n'y a rien de plus agréable de se dire qu'on ne crée pas un besoin, on répond à quelque chose qui existe et on donne la solution.
Et nous, notre travail, en fait, c'est de faire en sorte que le client remonte pour toutes ces requêtes que serait susceptible justement de rechercher les internautes.
Les mots qu'il va taper, c'est le premier boulot qu'on va faire. C'est d'abord aller réfléchir. Quelqu'un qui va acheter un clavier, qu'est-ce qu'il va taper dans un moteur de recherche? Et donc du coup là on a des outils, on a pas mal de choses, il y a des outils de suggestion. On va commencer par le plus bête, le clavier d'ordinateur.
Achat de clavier d'ordinateur.
Et après on va peut-être attaquer du matériel informatique, détaillant informatique, magasin informatique.
Les modèles aussi, des produits. Et ensuite, on va mettre en relation ces mots-clés à des annonces que vous allez voir apparaître sur Google, en fait.
C'est là que les liens commerciaux sont intéressants. J'ai que 8 liens commerciaux sur une page. Là où j'ai 10 résultats naturels qui sont tout mélangés. Et quand je fais une requête commerciale aujourd'hui, même moi en tant qu'internaute, parce que je connais bien le système maintenant, j'avoue que quand je fais une requête commerciale aujourd'hui dans un moteur de recherche, notamment dans Google, je vais systématiquement aller regarder ce qui se passe en lien sponsorisé. Alors des fois ça me fait rire parce que je vois ce qu'ont fait mes petits collègues, mais quand je veux acheter aujourd'hui un voyage, un billet d'avion sur internet, je ne regarde que les liens sponsorisés parce que je sais que c'est là que je vais trouver les gros acteurs du marché, ceux qui sont prêts à dépenser de l'argent pour m'attirer vers eux, donc qui ont une offre qui est quand même potentiellement intéressante.
Search and ads is our core. And so we need to make sure that that core of our business and the core of our offering works really well, which is why we staff the majority of our engineers there. That's where a lot of our technological advancements come in. Then there's sort of an area of 20% of related projects, where there we can afford to be a little bit more speculative, and so we can afford to try something out and wait and iterate and make something better to make sure that it really fills the user needs well. And then there's sort of a 10% of the people that we actually allocate on very speculative things that are far-flung and have very little to do with search, but we think are interesting and promising.
Para sustentar essas inovações, bem como sua expansão global, a Google deu início a uma vasta campanha de recrutamento. A empresa tinha 39 empregados em 1998. Em 2007, eram 14 mil. A Google recebe quase 1 milhão de pedidos de emprego por ano para fazer parte de um dos clubes tecnológicos mais exclusivos do planeta. Se tornar um empregado da Google significa percorrer um trajeto de obstáculos que dura 8 meses e responder a perguntas como: como vender para 1 milhão de pessoas? Ou de quantas maneiras pode-se pintar um icosaedro com uma de 3 cores?
Basically, every smart kid coming out of college in the world right now wants to work at Google, just like they did in 1990 at Microsoft. And so they're getting job applications from everywhere. They're getting them from Europe, they're getting them from India, they're getting them from China, they're getting them from all over the United States. And they can pick and choose whoever they want.
I think that we had a vision for the types of people we wanted to hire, but that vision was really diverse, right? We wanted Google to reflect the world of people we hoped to serve, and so we wanted people who had really diverse interests. So from the very beginning, there were people here who were brain surgeons and chefs who had worked, all over the world for different types of people.
So Google is getting to pick, the creme de la creme of every new grad in the world.
Well, I applied for the job when one night during the summertime I was looking for, stuff on the internet, and I found this position on the web saying, looking for Italian people to work abroad. So I thought it could be interesting. I was at the end of my career due to my previous job, so I was in a quiet period of my life, and it was, I think, time to change. And just for fun, I applied, but I never thought I could get it because.
And I applied for Google without the idea that they're gonna take me. Google sounds like so big and so huge. So when you're applying, you actually don't think that you're the person they will take.
La politique de départ, c'était que quand une équipe embauchait, tous les membres de l'équipe avaient leur mot à dire.
La plupart des gens font plusieurs interviews par semaine c'est régulier, doivent écrire des rapports détaillés, doivent noter les gens, certains doivent aller à des comités d'embauche qui ensuite comparent les gens, etc. Donc c'est quand même quelque chose de très organisé, mais en même temps de très démocratique. Il n'y a pas une douzaine de personnes dans la compagnie qui ont droit de veto sur tout.
Moi, c'est la première fois que je participe à des entretiens de recrutement, donc ça, c'était une première pour moi. Et on arrive dans une équipe, 6 mois plus tard, on participe à des entretiens de recrutement. C'est beaucoup de responsabilités, donc c'est hyper positif.
Je pense que le principe d'avoir beaucoup de personnes qui rencontrent le candidat est un point important parce que ça permet d'avoir plusieurs angles. Et d'ailleurs, on fait rencontrer pas seulement le futur manager, mais également les futurs collègues et voire même des futurs subordonnés.
It's with different, like with your colleagues, with some of your colleagues, then you have with your managers, then you have with people from different teams. It's just to see you in a different way because people ask different questions.
Je pense que la chose que je cherchais le plus, c'était la connivence, enfin pas la connivence, mais le degré de complicité que j'allais pouvoir avoir avec cette personne, qu'elle allait travailler tout le temps avec moi.
But now there's this concept of being googly. Sometimes when we look at hiring someone, we'll ask, like, is this person googly? And to us, that really does mean someone who is diverse and interesting outside of the workplace, who cares a lot about social responsibility in the world, and who really loves technology.
Des gens curieux, des gens un peu originaux, des gens qui allaient vraiment avec qui ça allait être agréable de travailler. Après, on pouvait toujours leur apprendre le métier et qu'ils pourraient le faire bien, mais c'était important qu'ils aient un certain état d'esprit, en fait, qui est très dur à définir.
I think what they look for is, like, it's very important to be a team player being here. I know it sounds like cliché, but we're all coming, it's a headquarters, so everybody's coming from a different country, and it's very important so you can get along with people.
C'est plutôt un processus assez systématique qui permet de détecter la bonne adéquation et de trouver le bon talent. Il n'y a pas de science infuse et il n'y a pas d'algorithme pour ça. On va les appeler tous les uns après les autres pour qu'ils se présentent et qu'ils nous fassent l'habituel numéro de plaquette.
Não importa de onde a pessoa é, a cultura Google começa na apresentação de novos funcionários. Os googleiros novatos precisam passar por um trote para entrar na fraternidade da empresa.
Edmond Mortos, Gaël Meguer, Mathilde Delval, Maxime Bounen e Naïm.
Essa festinha semanal chama-se Graças a Deus é Sexta-feira. E hoje é sexta-feira. Como tudo que acontece na Google, é um evento internacional.
Voilà, il y a un bisutage traditionnel pour les stagiaires de Google. Vous allez prendre le micro chacun et essayer de nous faire rire.
Hi, I'm Adrian. Wait, no, that's the beginning. So the embarrassing part. That was my embarrassing part now. I actually got a ticket once from Philadelphia police for public urination. That's good enough. I've composed, well, just like an anthem for Google. So actually, once you go ahead and visit the web network, the first thing you need is a good web search. We have search. Actually, we've net search. So go ahead and visit our webpage, gwgle.com. It's open 24/7.
Quand on arrive chez Google, je crois qu'on regarde autour de soi et on se dit « Je suis peut-être pas bête, mais je suis pas le seul. »
We do a lot of one-to-one work from the very beginning, from the early days, to help get people started, show things around, show how things work at Google, and really help them get off the ground.
We have this buddy program, which means there is somebody who is taking care of you when you arrive. Like, they're gonna meet you with your colleagues because they know that you're quite new and embarrassed and stressed even. Then you pass the trainings, you have like a training process, and then you go to your desk and there is always a person you can turn to and say, look, I need help for something. And they will always come because they are your buddy at that time.
once they go through that initial phase, through that initial coaching, then they're good to go and they're on their own. And we do have a culture of empowering people and giving them ownership over their business and over their markets, especially in the emerging markets. We're talking about small markets. The teams are small, so there is that true sense of ownership and responsibility, which we foster in people.
Constantina trabalha na Google há 1 ano. Ela tinha 28 anos quando trocou a Bulgária por Dublin para se tornar presidente da Google Bulgária.
Hello, Dushko.
Ela é a única aqui que pode solucionar os problemas dos anunciantes búlgaros. O melhor amigo dela é presidente da Google Romênia.
Super.
Se contarem as bandeiras, verão que a Google investe no mundo inteiro, porque palavras estão à venda na Bulgária, na Ucrânia e em muitos outros lugares.
The most stressful part is that you're calling from Google. So Google is calling the customer, and it's like I was feeling that I need to be professional enough and good enough to speak with these people. And later on I understood that I cannot always know the answer, and there is nothing bad saying I don't know and I will check and I will come back to you later. At the beginning it was really weird that there is not somebody who is checking me every day what I'm doing. That was something that really stressed me because there is nobody actually checking you. It makes me more relaxed because I know that if I need a break, I can just go and sit and have a coffee and know I won't have any comments like why you're not working or something like this. So it makes me more efficient because you plan your own time.
Para a Google, as melhores ideias podem surgir entre 2 portas. Por isso, esse espaço é organizado. As mesas de totó, sinuca e ping-pong e os videogames são uma maneira de incrementar as relações entre colegas de trabalho. Ideias não são mais debatidas através de mensagens eletrônicas, mas em reuniões cara a cara. É uma nova maneira de melhorar a criatividade dos funcionários.
Well, we just put some stuff, which we have to, about some reminders about our work. Then it's the googly stuff for sure. We always have something that will make us laugh. It's just some fun stuff. Usually you have to have a small ball, but I lost the ball. So you put it and all these things are like moving and it goes down. Gulnara, where is the webcam in the canteen? Where can I find it? Oops. Feeling hungry on my right, on the dub page. Yeah. Oh yeah, menu kitchen cam. Yeah, okay. It's 12:20, so people usually go around 12:31, but it's spread, so not everybody is here. That's the menu. Yeah. So that's the Herb Cafe in the other building. That's what we can choose from. Salad bar, sushi bar, panini bar. And that's what is downstairs, the canteen. We have usually one etnica. Today it's Ukrainian. Sometimes it's Indian, Italian. The sushi was very popular. Had sushi every day, now we're sick of sushi.
Quem trabalha na Google não paga as refeições. Esta receita de sucesso se espalhou pelo mundo. Com uma simples análise de custo-benefício, é fácil entender por quê. Digamos que alimentar um funcionário custa ao empregador em torno de $2.500 por ano. Considerando a perda de tempo para sair e comer fora, os ganhos em produtividade são evidentes. Comida grátis é também um dos melhores benefícios para os empregados. Aumenta o apreço deles pela empresa, bem como as horas trabalhadas.
Something like...
All my friends are in Google. Here I just don't have the time to go out and meet people outside. It's just because when you arrive here, you're alone and you meet the people here. So everybody coming in Dublin is exactly in the same situation. So we all come, we don't know anybody, and we need to make friends. Where you can make friends, you can make friends here. And it's very easy because it's very open and people around you will come and make friends with you. it like a huge benefit, because in my previous job, when lunch break is coming, you need to go to a restaurant and think what you're going to have for lunch. For this, you just don't think about it. And you come downstairs, you eat, you just come with the friends.
It's a good way to socialize with people, like, you know, to take your time and talk to people.
This is scrambled eggs is my highest skill. Google takes care that I actually eat some good fruit from time to time. So yeah, I appreciate it.
It's nice that you have that. And then it's also nice that you add like a couple of pounds, kilos, and then you realize that, well,
which is why they put in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have free food, but we do have a gym too, and a massage.
But still, I wouldn't go to a job just because I have good food. I mean, it's a nice benefit to have.
On est dans un monde d'informaticiens. Un monde de gens qui passent leur journée scotchés devant leur écran à écrire du code, à écrire du texte. C'est un métier dans lequel on a des rythmes de travail très particuliers, dans lequel on peut rester 6 heures, 7 heures, 8 heures, 9 heures, 10 heures, 12 heures d'affilée au bureau. Et il y a là une volonté de créer une hygiène de vie pour leurs collaborateurs et qui tient à ce que cette hygiène de vie va permettre de travailler sur la durée et d'éviter justement l'enfermement ou l'abrutissement. Alors, il y a une démarche totalement paternaliste. Beaucoup des innovations de Google en matière sociale, pour employer ce mot, chez nous, nous les connaissons, sont les comités d'entreprise qui l'offrent, qui le proposent. Aux États-Unis, ça n'existe pas. Donc, du coup, ils le réinventent.
There's a social contract going on inside of all high technology companies, especially entrepreneurial companies in their early days. And that is, take the risk with us, give everything you got, and literally everything you got. You may be sleeping on the floor of the office. You may be working 100 hours a week. You may have no other life besides us for a few years. But if we pull it off, you're going to be wealthy beyond your greatest dreams. Google's one of those cases. They actually did it. Did it chew up people? Oh, I have no doubt it chewed up people. They don't burn out because the company's too successful or too demanding. It's that demand lasts too long. You can't do this for 10 years.
For 4 years, I was involved in politics because I was elected vice mayor of my city. And it was a really nice experience, totally different from my studies, because there are rules in politics that you don't study in school. The way you approach the people, which is something that you learn on the field, like we say. Nobody teach you how to deal with people, especially from different nationalities, country, cultural backgrounds. You know, basically you have to learn it by yourself. For many people, it's the first job, so they come here. They see everything really super, you know, hey, free food, it's like heaven for many of them, you know. They didn't go through a normal, old-fashioned company, like, for example, it would be in Italy, you know, where you just go to work, boring, you just, you know, swipe your card, sit down in your desk, do your stuff, and wait until it's 5 o'clock and go home, you know. I'm happy to go to work.
Christian é italiano. Aos 32 anos, ele é um veterano na Google. Após 5 anos na empresa, ele ganha um salário de gerente de nível médio. Para completar a renda, a Google tem um sistema de bônus baseado na opinião de outros colegas de trabalho. Quanto mais disponível, eficiente e simpático você for, mais você ganha.
Paul, what's the crack? Pool, you want to play pool today? Buongiorno. Come va? Bom dia, Sara. Tudo bem? Bonjour. Bonjour. Ça va? Buenos dias, chico. ¿Qué pasa? I'm making it up.
I know.
But try, if it works. Graham created it. I think it works.
See, that was good.
My job? Many things. I have few responsibilities. One is my core job, which is basically dealing with Italian users on some of our products. I work for a pod, which is basically a group of products that are all related to content creation. And the second part is basically everything else, which means helping launching new products for my market, helping our own team members over here for any issues that might arise. So luckily I'm a little techie guy as well, so sometimes I get to solve technical issues even if it's not my direct responsibilities. And it's fun because you basically on one side deal with external people and on the other side you help your own team members.
Okay, so in Blogger.
Yeah.
It's the same procedure as in Gmail to get the IP address and the connection and all the details, personal details?
We never give details around.
Yes.
Totally, unless there is a court order or something.
Okay.
It's like a little family. Probably they don't require people to work like that much, like up till late or whatever, but what I do, I always do it with pleasure, so I'm not forced to stay here later. You have a ticket in Blogger in Spanish, or it's like an internal thing?
No, it's in Spanish, yes. Blogger. It's from the police.
From who?
The police.
So you don't have a legal Spanish point person?
She's on holidays, I'm doing her back.
What you get back, it's a nice workplace, nice people. So at the end, it's a good balance between what you give and what you get. Because we don't have Spanish support for Blogger, but she's the legal blogger guru.
Le meilleur contrôle qui puisse être exercé sur un individu, un travailleur, un collaborateur, c'est par ses collègues. C'est à la fois le contrôle et en même temps la motivation. C'est formidable de bien travailler pour son patron, mais c'est encore beaucoup mieux de bien travailler pour des collègues qui vont vous dire t'es vraiment champion, là t'as réussi quelque chose de difficile. Des collègues dont on cherche d'autant plus adhésion qu'ils sont formidables.
And just so we're caught up, Lee is in Mountain View, Toffee's on his way back from Mountain View, Alex is in Hyderabad. Abhilash is at Mobile Offsite.
Somewhere.
Have some news about that, which is really interesting. First off, there's a request. It's called the Death by 1,000 Paper Cuts, and so as part of the senior staff, Devlin's trying to come up with a list of top 10 things that are hindering execution. Sort of like the regular sort of fight against bureaucracy, right?
What's an example of things that you're looking for?
I think I'm going to write something about streamlining the hiring process. That's one thing. Localization would be something that's near and dear to your heart, and how that works. Something to do maybe with the way we fight abuse, or something like that. Tools, something like that. I think all of those things are fair. Right. The other thing that I wanted to chat with you about was this job fair. So Emmanuel came in. He's kind of in a panic. He says some of the other teams are doing some really big things, and I think he's feeling like he should have planned a little bigger.
O verdadeiro desafio é a promoção interna. Em vez de ascender na hierarquia da empresa, o que pode ser difícil quando se contratam 3.000 pessoas por ano, a Google favorece a mobilidade. Você pode mudar de função ou até de país, ou ficar onde está e ver sua carga de trabalho aumentar graças ao crescimento incrível da Google. Como o recrutamento externo exige muito esforço, eles tentam manter seus funcionários. Para isso, realizam feiras entre departamentos, onde buscam atrair quem já está na empresa, valendo-se do tradicional espírito Google e de muito humor.
What do you give me?
What do we give you?
Yeah. How do you attract people?
$100.
€100. Really?
An Amazon gift voucher.
But what do you have to write?
Have an idea.
Do you know much about strategic initiatives?
Well, I can guess what you do.
Okay, so essentially we're broken up into optimization, customer education, satisfaction, it's all back here. Because we're a new team, we're still developing our remit, figuring out what it is we can do. But we're looking for just ideas on strategic ideas or projects that you think. We'd love to have you.
So you're looking for these people? No.
Yeah, with some French, Spanish.
I can do the associate manager if you want.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Thanks.
We'd love to have you on board.
So no Italian?
No, not yet. No.
So what's the point then?
I know.
What you can do basically on yourself is having a clear goal in your mind and set your steps towards that goal. And if you want to fight for it, and if you are not afraid of moving your shoulders, like we say in Italy, it's basically all up to you to go on. You might find difficulties, you might find to be not in the right place in the right moment. You might find yourself that you have to wait because probably it's not the right moment to make the step. Probably there are not available positions for you to go in a specific moment. But if you keep doing and willing that you actually have to reach your own goal, I'm sure that sooner or later you can definitely make it. I'm Christian.
Christian, hi. Des.
So I'd like to join SRE. Cool. What do you have that we don't have in ConOps?
Well, so site reliability engineering is the engineering group in Google that looks after our production sites. We work a lot to try and make sure that our users never see any problems with our sites, that they're fast, they're up all of the time.
Isn't it stressful, like that you need always to be aware of any issue, like in the night, for example, you wake up?
Yeah, well, we're actually a global team.
Does it happen?
Yeah, but it can happen. We've run the site entirely from Dublin in the past. So we'll get paged in the middle of the night. One time the Department of Homeland Security called us and said, why is Google down? Can we help?
Yeah.
And we said, no, we've got it in hand. It's pretty rare that we actually have an outage.
But you never know.
Anything can happen.
And as an engineer, you always also have the 20% time project, right? If you have 20% time.
Yeah, absolutely. Our engineers work on, say, with some of the other teams.
One thing that we've done that's fostered a lot of creativity is we've tried to empower the employees, give them a license to pursue that thing that they're dreaming about. And we've done that. One very salient way that we've done that, I think is really obvious, is we've provided people with what we call 20% time, where we basically say, one day a week, you can work on whatever is most important to you. And it may not be what you're assigned to work on. It may be, just something that you're really passionate about. But we believe that when we take really smart people with the kinds of backgrounds that we hire and we turn them loose on something that they have a lot of energy for, even if that's not something that we maybe envision strategically, really beautiful applications come out of that.
Os engenheiros são uma classe à parte na Google. Eles ganham mais, são menos supervisionados e têm 20% de tempo livre. Um bônus de 20% em potencial criativo para a empresa. É a maneira Google de manter os melhores, evitando que vendam seus cérebros para outras companhias.
La motivation principale de la majorité des ingénieurs, ce serait effectivement d'être à l'origine de quelque chose de nouveau, d'un nouveau produit, Google, qui deviendrait très connu et très réussi. Cela dit, tout le monde est conscient que faire quelque chose comme ça tout seul, ça ne se fera pas. Le 20%, donc le fait que les gens techniques ont 20% de leur temps pour faire ce qu'ils veulent. Personne ne peut leur dire quoi faire ou ne pas faire pendant ce temps-là. C'est utilisé en partie pour donner une équipe à quelqu'un qui n'en a pas. Donc si j'ai une très bonne idée et que je fais un petit prototype, je montre ça à mes amis qui trouvent ça super, ils vont venir me donner leurs 20% de travailler là-dessus avec moi. Donc du coup, j'ai une équipe, sans que personne n'ait quoi que ce soit à redire.
Les 20%, c'est très important quand on fait attention à un élément clé de la culture de Silicon Valley qu'on appelle the hacker's ethic, la morale, l'éthique du hacker. Le hacker, pour les gens qui y croient, c'est pas du tout des gens dangereux, c'est des gens qui au contraire passent leur vie à inventer des technologies, des gens qui sans se faire payer travaillent par plaisir à inventer des nouvelles technologies, étant entendu que dans le plaisir, il y a aussi de l'ego, c'est de la réputation, on est reconnu par les siens, on est cité, on finit par être apprécié et le nom apparaît dans un grand nombre d'endroits. Mais il y a une culture qui correspond à ça, et il y a des gens qui vibrent et qui répondent à cette culture. Et Google l'a compris.
I didn't understand it. Why does this work? So we're hiring people with double the amount of employees in a year, and it still works. It seems that we're moving faster even. And the reason is Google has developed a new kind of organization structure, which is defined by letting information circulate. And this is great, really. I really would love to have this as an entrepreneur too, to give people freedom and still to achieve your goals.
Samuel é um dos vários donos de empresa que se tornaram funcionários ao serem comprados pela Google. Cerca de 50 empresas foram adquiridas desde 2001. A Google reuniu todos os seus engenheiros europeus em Zurique. Essas 300 pessoas trabalham em tempo real com outros escritórios pelo mundo, como Mountain View, Londres, Sydney, Hyderabad, Tóquio, Seul e Seattle. É um caos global em que ninguém sabe quem comanda quem.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You don't.
I really have no idea. So yeah, so there is the VP level, and afterwards there is I don't know. I just know that must be 3 levels, but yeah. And talking to VPs and getting in touch with them, even with the CEO, that's just easy as that. Write them an email, you're getting an answer back. So you can't do innovation from top down. So if Eric Schmidt says, hey, let's add a certain function to a map, so and the engineers don't even understand what he's talking about, it doesn't work and blocks everyone. So it's better to have these small units. They're creating innovation, then you're fast. So you can take your decisions and move on. So you don't have to ask for permission or whatever. It's not a top-down approach, it's more like a bottom-up approach. But that means like discussing a lot. There is no one saying, hey, you have to do that. So, but you have to convince them, hey, that's good for us, it's good for the company. And so you have kind of a really democratic approach, I would say.
On est donc dans un dispositif qui est à la fois extrêmement sympathique, mais en même temps une surveillance impitoyable parce qu'on est en permanence contrôlé par ses collègues. On travaille avec ses collègues. Tout le système Google, il faut bien le voir, tout le système Google est un système qui manie des techniques extrêmement sympathiques, mais en même temps impitoyable. C'est un mélange de sympathie e d'impitoyable.
E a Google é impiedosa ao comercializar novos produtos que são lançados em um ritmo estonteante. Nos campos corporativo e privado, a empresa decidiu conquistar todos os computadores do planeta.
Cool. As it is a huge company, as we have a global audience, we need to test everything before launching, and so that takes time. But because we are a huge amount of people, of engineers working on that product, the launch cycles are very, very fast, seeing it from outside. But it could be faster if you're inside.
Google a un rythme de sortie ou de mise à jour des produits très soutenu. Donc toutes les 2 semaines, on essaie de sortir des choses.
Sérgio é um pregador da Google, um novo tipo de emissário.
Il y a 2 types de produits. Les produits consommateurs, donc qui sont des produits gratuits, comme Google Maps par exemple. Et puis sur ces produits, il y a aussi des produits clients. Donc ça fait énormément de produits. Toutes les 2 semaines, du coup, nous, on réunit toutes les équipes et on les met au courant de ces nouveautés. Et il y a toujours au moins 4 ou 5 différents items à l'agenda. Je vais aller me mettre en place après mon yop.
What Google has is they don't have to sell anything. They just give you new free things. So he can go into a market like Google Earth, and he can take all the existing firms in that market that are charging people for the experience and just run them over.
Sérgio nos leva ao universo da Google Analytics, um programa direcionado a proprietários de sites.
Il y en a qui viennent à GATT ou pas? Cool.
Mais oui, c'est on ne prête jamais les formations que tu fais.
A plateia é composta por vendedores que pregarão as qualidades do programa para seus clientes.
Je sais, ça craint. Je viens déjà de m'enfiler 2 pommes.
O primeiro tópico é comida.
Alors, parce qu'il faut savoir un truc chez Google, c'est que les premiers, enfin généralement les garçons qui viennent d'arriver chez Google, genre Sergio a pris 10 kilos quand il est
Ouais, bon, je suis en plein régime là.
Sébastien, je pense qu'il a dû en prendre 10 ou 15. Tout le monde en prend. Moi, j'avais pris 4. Parce que les gens se bourrent de trucs.
Bon, ouais, je démarre. Donc ça, c'est la nouvelle interface. Donc pour ceux qui connaissaient très bien l'ancienne comme Prune, ça doit faire un gros changement.
C'est surtout le orange.
Donc en gros, visiteurs, c'est les informations sur vos visiteurs. Contenu, c'est les informations sur le contenu du site, donc les pages vues, les pages les plus visitées, les pages de sortie, les pages d'entrée. Les objectifs, c'est les objectifs définis par le l'utilisateur sur son site. Donc on peut aller voir si les objectifs ont été remplis par les internautes.
L'objectif, c'est l'atteinte d'une page, par exemple.
Ouais, grosso modo, c'est ça. Donc c'est soit une page de remerciement après un achat, après une inscription. Ça peut être juste une page vue quelque part dans le site. Ça peut être le téléchargement d'un PDF, par exemple. Ça peut être n'importe quoi.
Est-ce qu'il y a un moment où tu abordes les différences entre Google Analytics et les autres produits? Parce que ça, c'est souvent des questions qu'on a.
Tout à fait. Voilà où on est, nous. On est le gros truc jaune. Donc, ouais, en 1 an et demi, on a carrément bouffé le marché. Mais bon, forcément, c'est gratuit. Ouais. Non, ça, c'est mondial. Nous, la différence avec les autres concurrents, comme vous le constatez, c'est qu'on s'adresse à la fois à des gens qui veulent des choses assez simples et des gens qui sont prêts à avoir des choses plus complexes et à payer très cher. Donc nous, on s'adresse à tout le marché. Donc c'est gratuit. Ça, c'est quand même un des gros avantages.
Every time they introduce one of these new products, the day they introduce it, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million people adopt it that day. Any market they go into now, they are instantly, within one morning, the largest player in that market.
Voilà, quand on vous parle de problèmes de protection des données, vous pouvez dire, ça c'est vraiment quelque chose de résumé, Manuel, à des choses plus complètes. Vous pouvez dire qu'en gros, on n'identifie pas les visiteurs. Enfin, si c'est un problème de données des visiteurs, on ne les identifie pas. On sort que des données agrégées. Donc on ne va pas pointer du doigt un utilisateur. Et personne chez Google ne voit leurs données.
Pour être clair, on n'a toujours pas le droit d'aller voir les données de nos clients.
Non.
Google has a footprint now on the world that we're very aware of, and it does increase our sense of responsibility and how we have to conduct ourselves and some of the ethical dilemmas that are presented. And Googlers are really involved in that. It's very openly debated. Our entry into China, some of the issues around copyright are things that we debate here internally. And I think that's given us a healthy perspective that on some of these issues, reasonable, intelligent people disagree. When I look at China, we ultimately, recognize that, well, certainly there's the downside of some of the censorship and other things that must happen. We ultimately are providing a service to more than 1 billion people who may not have a tool like Google that helps them find information otherwise. And so while we obviously have to cooperate with local law to be able to provide that service to those people, the upside of being able to provide a service like Google to those 1 billion people outweighs the downside, at least at the current moment.
People suddenly looked up and realized, well, wait a minute, Google isn't that cute little company anymore. Google is a big corporation making very, pragmatic and some would say cynical decisions. And this isn't what we thought they were. This isn't the image they portrayed to us.
Quand on se retrouve chez Google, très peu de gens pensent à l'aspect polémique. De toute façon, toute compagnie qui va avoir de l'impact va nécessairement créer un petit peu de polémique, mais la plupart des gens techniques ne sont pas vraiment impliqués dans ce genre de choses. Je veux dire, on a un certain nombre d'aspects qu'on a toujours en tête, par exemple, je sais pas, l'aspect informatique et liberté, privacy. Donc ça, chaque fois que quelqu'un construit un produit, c'est un souci.
Ils essayent d'avoir autant d'informations que possible sur les traces que nous laissons sur l'Internet. Et toutes ces informations se trouvent en un seul endroit virtuel, c'est-à-dire dans une seule entreprise. Et donc, si cette entreprise change parce que la politique change, parce que l'État change, parce que la direction change, parce que, enfin, j'en sais rien, à ce moment-là, on pourrait se retrouver devant le fait qu'une quantité énorme d'informations se trouve dans une situation qui peut être dangereuse pour nous. Et donc on peut avoir toutes les meilleures intentions et les meilleures relations du monde avec les gens de Google. Les gens de Google peuvent être délicieux. Il y a quand même un problème quant à la quantité d'informations dont ces gens disposent sur la terre entière.
It's a legitimate concern, and people have legitimate advertising privacy concerns. They also have legitimate end-user privacy concerns. If we lose our advertiser support or end-user support, the company is kaput. So we have to address this, and we have to address it to your satisfaction.
Eric Schmidt reconhece que nenhuma empresa na web pode garantir o sigilo de informações. Toda essa riqueza se baseia em confiança. Então, não se esqueçam de que tudo pode ser desfeito com apenas um clique.
There's an interesting cognitive dissonance with Google. And the dissonance is you're getting the product, the service for free. and it has a cute name. And it's full of young people, you know, with lava lamps and Pilates balls and pool tables. And everything about Google speaks fun, counterculture, and all of that. And yet, as you read the news, the Google you read in the news stories is not the Google of your imagination. That Google is huge. It dominates every market it's in. It's slowly rolling up the entire media advertising world bit by bit. It caved to the Chinese on censorship. It looks like a giant predatory corporation, and yet at the same time in your mind, it's Google.
Neste mundo maravilhoso, a Google detém uma posição singular. Ela possui todo o conhecimento. A inovação se tornou uma obsessão. Ela é o alvo de todos os ataques, mas, por definição, os mundos virtuais são voláteis. A Google manterá sua utopia empresarial quando os googleiros, que têm 25 anos hoje, precisarem sair às 5 da tarde para buscar os filhos no colégio? Ou Larry e Sergey serão os reis da companhia das crianças perdidas?